now, live from the Steel Twins recording studio in beautiful Traverse City, Michigan, it's your boys, the Cannonball, the Cannon, the Steel Twins. What's up, everybody? It's Wednesday night, and you know what that means.
That's right, voice acting night, baby.
Hey, really sad news. That drum roll I don't think made it in. So why don't we try that again? It's your boys, it's the boys, the Cannonball, the Cannon, the Steel Twins. There we go. So how you guys doing? You know, it's that time of the week again. Thank you so much for taking time out of your Wednesday night to come see us. Your support means more than you'll ever know. A couple of updates on projects going on. I am in an actual play, and it's show week. That's right. This Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is the opening weekend for Love or Best Offer at the historic historic Elk Rapids Township Hall Auditorium, and and then there's 3 shows next weekend too. So, if you, I'm not saying anybody on this stream is going to be in the area, but if you know somebody that is by chance, tell them about it. So in the meantime, we are going to try to get to the bottom of the IS-7 incident. We're going to, do something with the past by doing it in the future. All that old hat. So, and also, we got Nostalgic Mondays. We got Legend of Zelda Tuesdays. We're not sure what's happening Thursdays, but, it used to be Ratchet and Clank Thursdays. Don't count it out. You might see it. And don't forget your Super Mario Fridays.
I will tell you, though, that I may end up being as lucky enough to stream Ratchet and Clank Thursdays, like in 2 weeks, maybe next week if I'm lucky enough. It depends on when. It all depends on what time I get home, from work. Because if I get home from work late, I'm not taking a chance of a late night stream. But we'll see what happens.
We value sleep around here. Very much
we certainly do.
So, to that end, I know that we got a bit of a time limit. We always give ourselves a 2-hour time limit or so. So, clock's ticking, Jack, and it's time to get to my second favorite part of the show. The first favorite part always is finding out that new plot and going, whoa, what? So, obviously, you know the drill by now. If you have a cap to your bottle or a pin on your can, you go ahead and pull that pin back or twist that cap off.
With a twisty twist.
Hey, package. What time is it?
It's time to get bombed.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Oh, man. Takes me back to my childhood.
Yeah, buddy.
That orange creamsicle? You can get those at the grocery store all the time when we were kids.
Yeah, buddy.
So, well, what the heck are we waiting for? Live scene. Let's go get this music. Let's get this music on the road, shall we? Top.
Get down.
Yeah, buddy. So, okay. So, 5 minutes in, health warning. I know that we kind of draw out the introduction, but gives our homies chance to run in and, use the bathroom, plop on the couch, get a snack. You're going to need snacks because this one's a doozy. So, folks, we have found out that Judy Bound is not guiltless. She did, in fact, spirit away those amazing candy ice sculptures from, it's the Winter Wing today, but it was Artie Frost's room all those years ago. And that's how the body showed up in the fountain, because she decided to dump the body into the fountain so somebody could find it. So, but her plan was a little cut short. So now we're looking at this thing. It says the committee's view. I wonder what the heck that means. Only one way to find out. Da 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 da.
Charge! Time to earn your worth, Miles Edgeworth.
You should have just said Miles. That would have worked perfectly.
Oh, okay, yeah. Anyways,
time to earn your Edgeworth, Miles. April 2nd, 3:11 p.m., Zodiac Hall, Fountain Room. Still a bit of a somber environment.
Miss Bound, are you feeling a little calmer now?
Yes.
Good. Then allow me to get to the point. Regardless of your intentions, you broke the law.
Yes, I understand.
Nevertheless, I understand that you did what you did in order to prove Mr. Tangaroa's innocence. Therefore, if the real culprit really is someone else, then we have a duty to reinvestigate the case.
Overruled.
Oh, God damn it.
There is nothing to suggest that anything nefarious took place in the official IS-7 incident records.
Oh, really, sister?
Yeah, why don't you prove that?
Oh, I'll tell you what. If you stuck around last episode, there's 2 different sets of case files.
And right now, there is nothing to suggest that we should take Miss Bound and her at her word either. So our first order of business should be to arrest the culprit of the case before us, Miss Bound herself.
Objection! Official records cannot always be trusted, Judge Gavel. Especially since there are those prosecutors who would think nothing of twisting the facts.
Overruled. Are you suggesting that the committee at the time overlooked just such a prosecutor?
That's for you and your people to figure out. However, it is a fact that the autopsy report was faked. Seeing as Mr. Frost's body was only found just now.
There really is something of Mr. Von Karma in you, Mr. Edgeworth.
How so, exactly?
Yeah, that's a little bit of a low blow.
By continually defying the will of the committee and bending the truth to fit your needs. That's how. Perhaps it is time you understand how the committee sees this case.
Well,
All right. Well,
All right.
Time for an epic battle. The committee's view.
The committee is willing to accept that Mr. Von Karma falsified Mr. Frost's autopsy report. Even still, Mr. Von Karma only managed to have Mr. Tangaroa convicted as an accomplice. I personally have come to believe that the real culprit behind the IS-7 incident is Miss Bound. Her plan to poison and kill Mr. Gusto today was her attempt to frame him for Mr. Frost's murder.
And this is how the committee sees things, is it?
It is. As always, I act solely in service of law and order.
It sounds to me like all she's doing is acting in service of the committee and covering up the truth.
plus, what's her gambit in all this? And remember, there's a lot at stake here with Ms. Bound here. You know, the property comes back, you know, the property that Mr. Tangaroa used to have. What's the deal here? What's the play?
And if I can't change her mind, there will be no saving Mr. Tangaroa or Ms. Bound.
And that's a problem. Big
Yeah,
problem.
buddy. Yeah, buddy. Well, go to it, Edgeworth.
The committee is willing to accept that Mr. Von Karma falsified Mr. Frost's autopsy report.
Just gonna go with story mode. I have no idea what we're doing.
Even still, Mr. Von Karma only managed to have...
Hold on.
Even still, Mr. Von Karma only managed to have Mr. Tangaroa convicted as an accomplice. I personally have come to believe that the real culprit behind the IS-7 incident is Miss Bound. The plan to poison and kill Mr. Gusto today was to attempt to frame him for Mr. Frost's murder.
Hold it! Why would Miss Bound have chosen to frame Mr. Gusto for the murder?
No doubt because he suspected her of being the real culprit. He may have entered what he thought was the Winter Wing simply to see if the Gemini statue was genuine. Little did he know that he would be greeted by a trap designed to silence him. A trap that nearly worked.
Objection! Do you have any evidence to support that line of reasoning?
Unfortunately, Mr. Gusto remains in critical condition. It will be difficult to prove anything until he regains consciousness. In other words, there is little we can do for now.
On the contrary, there is plenty we can do.
You still have not grasped the situation, have you? Then allow me to spell it out for you. We have all the evidence we need to explain both the IS-7 incident and the poison gas attack.
I doubt that. So
We're gonna present something here.
probably a case file of the analysis results.
Objection! I'm afraid there is still one question concerning the IS-7 incident that remains unanswered, Your Honor. Would you mind taking a look at this?
What is it?
They're test results carried out on the liquid at the bottom of the Gemini case in the Winter Wing. As you can see, traces of blood were detected.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Once we find out whose blood that is, then we're really gonna be in the money here.
And unless it's you, we got a YouTube viewer here.
That ain't me.
The question is whose? Until that question is answered, I hardly think you can claim to have all the evidence.
Ugh. There was blood in the Gemini case. Why did I not hear about this from Eustace?
Because Detective Gumshoe informed me of the results directly. I was planning to tell Mr. Winter about it myself, of course.
Overruled. You kept this to yourself until now, despite having no jurisdiction here whatsoever? Mark my words, the committee will hear all about what you have done here today.
As ever, my interest is in the truth, and if mistakes were made in the past, they must be rectified. If you must report me to the committee, then so be it. But in return, we must be allowed to investigate this case to the very end.
That is not my decision to make. You will need to discuss it with Eustace.
Well, that's easy. Guess who's back, losers? And with good news, too. Oh, Gusto's alive. It was a close call for a minute there, but Carmelo Gusto is alive. Gusto.
He made it.
Oh, you're the ones who found me. Yep. Long time no see, Gusto. the attorney's assistant. You've grown, and you have an assistant of your own, now?
Assistant? No, I'm...
He hasn't got the gig just yet. This is Gregory Edgeworth's son.
Prosecutor Miles Edgeworth, at your service. Oh, hell to the nah. Zion the Potato has joined the chat.
Yeah, buddy, you're just in time for tea. Fate moves in mysterious ways. I'm in your debt. If you hadn't found me in time, I wouldn't be here to thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. After all, if you hadn't lived, we wouldn't be able to ask you what really happened 18 years ago.
What are you talking about? We figured out quite a bit while you were out cold, including the fact that you're probably the guy who offed poor Audie Frost. What? Is that true?
Ms. Bound set up a very elaborate trap to catch Mr. Frost's murderer. A trap that involved rigging the Pisces case with poison gas. So basically, Zion, Judy revealed to us that she was the one who stole the Infesticide Ultra point to set up the poison gas trap and moved Mr. Frost's body.
Yep, and she did it to try to prove Mr. Samson Tangaroa's innocence. But anyway.
Perhaps in light of that fact, you could tell us in your own words what happened back then. Or perhaps you'd rather exercise your right to remain silent.
No, it's not that. Gusto, he is a fan of the old it's not that. Gusto, he is a fan of the old meditation. You know, Om and all that jazz.
Wow, sleeping while standing seems pretty cool. That's one heck of a talent.
Except there's no sleeping involved in meditation, Kay.
Hey, Gusto, old pal, how about you snap out of it and tell us what went down? Hey, Gusto, old pal, how about you snap out of it and tell us what went down way back when?
Excuse my ass? No, sorry, let me rephrase that. I beg your acid pardon.
I was caught in the girl's trap, so I must be the killer? Is this your idea of a joke? I'm the victim here.
Indeed you are, Mr. Gusto, and there is no evidence that you have done anything wrong yet. Mr. Edgeworth and Mr. Fender are merely speculating. Rest assured that they have no authority here and that you may pay them no heed.
At least somebody here seems to be on my side.
Judge Verdi Cavell, it's a pleasure, Mr. Gusto. I will assist you in any way you may require. Perhaps you could begin by explaining what actually happened 18 years ago to Mr. Edgeworth.
Fine. You want me to prove I'm innocent, Mr. Prosecutor? I'll be happy to.
Objection! So this is how you mean to play it, Judge Cavell? Jesus H. Crisps. You're hoping Mr. Gusto will help you to hide what happened instead of trying to correct the record?
I believe only in the infallible judgment of the Goddess of Justice.
Except it is us humans who make the actual judgment calls in a court of law. And so long as there are those who would use the law to their advantage, our rulings are fallible indeed. If you would use your position to further obscure the truth, then neither she nor I will forgive you. I feel like Judge Cavell is behind this BS somehow. Well, she does have a little thing about the IS-7 incident, but we don't know anything just yet. Well,
yeah, she has a very vested interest in this case. I don't know what's going on. Anyway.
We shall see about that.
What do you advise, Judge Cavell?
It would seem that you are under suspicion because it was you who triggered the poison gas. Specifically, by opening the Pisces case's lid. Would you be so kind as to share why with us?
Understood. I came to see Frost sculptures. Simple as that. I made a mistake with the opening times and arrived half an hour early.
Miss Bound, was there no one at the reception desk at around that time?
I left the main entrance unguarded and unlocked, just in case the killer made an appearance. I was also busy making preparations elsewhere, all the way up until the gallery's opening. So no, there was no one here on the first floor then.
I beg your ass's pardon should be my catchphrase. You know what?
I
Have
think
at
so.
it, brother.
Yep, you made it up. You drew it up, we'll knock it down.
But I did make sure that all the wings were locked up tight. All except for the autumn wing, that is.
I see.
She did all that just to steal the culprit into the autumn wing, which is precisely where Mr. Gusto went.
Sneaking into a building's pretty suspicious, however you slice it. Silence in the courtroom. I will permit no objections or interventions unless there is some evidence that the witness is lying. The courtroom? You know this is an art gallery, right? Mr. Gusto, if you could please continue by explaining why you opened the Pisces case.
I wanted to see Frost's work up close, so I went up to the Gemini. Sorry, I guess it was supposed to be the Pisces statue, and I saw that the lid was frozen on tight, so I grabbed a torch from nearby and tried to open it.
A blowtorch, but yeah.
What?
Definitely the same thing.
What did I say?
You said torch.
All right. When I finally
Doesn't
got
matter.
when I finally got it open, gas came pouring out.
Fascinating. His is the sort of flawless testimony attorneys can only dream of.
Yeah, everything sounds like a lie kind. I am none too satisfied with Mr. Gusto's explanation myself. Alas, there is no evidence to refute it.
Bullshit. We know that the blood, that's gonna get him.
Come on! There must be something!
It's
Just know if you lie, I'm gonna shove teriyaki chicken so far up your ass you'll think it grew there.
I don't know about that.
Get him,
but
Zion.
It's Pound's story you should be questioning, not mine. I'm not the one who set up the gas trap. She could have killed anybody with that thing. Objection. She turned on the sprinklers as soon as the gas was released. She knew exactly what she was doing. She was gunning for the killer and nobody else. That killer being you, old pal. So you believe that self-confessed criminal?
Miss Bound is far from blameless in this affair, and she will have to pay for her crimes. But so will Mr. Frost's killer.
You seem determined to pin Frost's murder on me, but I had no reason to kill him.
Yes, you do.
And you have no evidence to prove otherwise.
Can we really not prove that he's the killer, Mr. Edgeworth?
I think there might have been a reason to do it, but somebody was probably, I don't know, it's money, there's the cookbook, plenty of, they were helping each other, right? Anyway.
Right. Mr. Gusto fell victim to the poison gas. That much is indisputable. Yet, no matter how suspicious his actions in the present may seem, they prove nothing about the past.
Which means you gotta go back there to figure stuff out.
Yeah, but what about you, Mr. Fender? There must be something we could do.
You're right. We may not have evidence, but we have plenty of intel. Let's see now. If Gusto killed Frost, he must have had a reason.
Now, hold that thought for a second. Maybe he wanted the prize all to his sweet and sour chicken ass self.
Hey, that's a perfect motive.
He claims not to have a motive, but that can't really be true, can it?
Look, we're about to put stuff together. If he did it, he has one. Not many people commit murder just for fun. In fact, your old man had a little back and forth with Von Korma about a probable motive too, remember? How can you possibly say that with any certainty? If their relationship had broken down for some reason,
So helped Frost in the final, but the favor wasn't returned.
That could very well have been the motive behind this murder. Von Korma wouldn't let us talk to Gusto back then, but we can now. If we can put the pieces together, I think the picture we've been looking for might just emerge.
Yes, I think you might be right. I need to think back over everything we know about the IS-7 incident, especially the questions that never got answered.
And the finger marks? Were you the one wearing the gloves?
Miss Scone denied that the finger marks on the frame were hers. But what if they were Mr. Gusto's? Perhaps he had wanted to take a look through the ultimate cookbook for himself.
There you go, yeah. I mean, there you go.
So he asked me to go put in a new cartridge. He seemed to think there should have been more shots left than there were.
In other words, the film ran out sooner than expected?
Yes, the number of shots he took didn't line up with the number of shots remaining.
Somebody else used the camera.
But he thought maybe he just lost track somewhere along the way.
My father noticed these things for a reason. I just need to piece them together correctly. In the absence of evidence, it's the only way to the truth. All right, time to connect the dots.
So let's see here. Murder's motive. I would say... Cooperation ended. I'm going to try this. I'm going to try this first.
Aha! Mr. Gusto, you and Mr. Frost conspired to create works for the contest together, did you not?
Huh? So you know my little secret.
Mr. Fender was kind enough to inform me. Mr. Frost was in charge of the designs, while you were in charge of the flavor. Is that correct?
What can I say? Still had a long way to travel on the road to becoming a master confectioner.
But you only collaborated up through the semifinal. Something changed after that.
We both wanted to show what we could do. Show that we were better than Tangaroa.
Objection! Objection! Then why did you help Mr. Frost with his entry for the final?
What grounds do you have to say that?
Your own statement made to Mr. Von Karma 18 years ago. You told him that you had been working together right up until the day before the final.
Mr. Frost's entry was carved entirely from blocks of flavored ice. Ice which would have needed at least a day to freeze, and whose flavors would therefore have already been prepared by Mr. Gusto.
Yes, which lines up perfectly with what Gusto told me, that he helped Frost until the day before the final.
In that case, why didn't Mr. Frost reciprocate and help Mr. Gusto in return?
Objection! I can hardly be expected to read the minds of the dead.
So why didn't Mr. Frost help you in return, I submit that your relationship broke down for some reason. And that became the basis of your motive for murder.
That's not how it was. Sure, we stopped working together, but it was all perfectly friendly.
You stopped working together in a friendly way? Kind of hard to imagine, but okay.
Besides, how do you think I did it exactly? You think I just strolled into Tangaroa's room and killed Frost? I couldn't have killed the man while Tangaroa was in there working on his chocolate pieces, could I? No, that's not where he killed him. So you see, it can't have been me.
I wouldn't be so sure. There must be a window of time when Mr. Tangaroa wasn't in his room.
And let's also think about this. Maybe Mr. Tangaroa's room wasn't the... Yes, it was, because he dumped the body into the chest. Never mind. I thought he might have killed him in his own room first, Frost's room, and then but then put him in the case. But then, yeah, how do you explain the blood? Anyway.
Motive alarm. Any problems with the stream, by the way?
Not so far.
Okay, cool. Hey, Zion, you seen anything wrong? And if I can prove that, I can prove that Mr. Gusto had the opportunity to kill Mr. Frost. All right, time to put them together.
Remaining exposures, timing of the murder. Wanted the cookbook. What does story mode tell us? There you go. Yeah. So, okay.
Photographing the cookbook's contents would be the perfect way to steal its secrets undetected. And what if Mr. Gusto did just that? What if he used Mr. Tangaroa's camera to photograph the book? Nope, you're good. Thanks, Zion.
It'd be the perfect crime. So much better than stealing it and getting chased by the cops.
A sneaky snapshot of 20, huh? That could work.
The only question is, when would he have done it?
Good question. What about during afternoon tea? Didn't Delicia say that Gusto and Frost had missed out on the little tea party they had? They sure did.
Which brings me to the next question. When do we know for certain that Mr. Frost was still alive?
Then, after the contest began, nobody saw hide nor hair of Frost as he had secluded himself in his room. And the only person capable of entering his locked room was Tangaroa, possessing, as he did, the only key.
Ms. Scone, were Mr. Tangaroa's works the only ones you sampled?
Oh dear, I couldn't help myself. When I'd finished my afternoon tea, I tipped over to chili beans for a little taste, too. Mr. Frost had kept to himself inside his room after the contest had started. But he was gone by the time Miss Scone snuck into it to sample his work. Meaning there is a good chance he was murdered before the end of afternoon tea. All right, time to put them together. Afternoon tea, timing of the murder. We can be sure that Mr. Frost was alive until the beginning of afternoon tea, making tea time the only window during which Mr. Gusto could have killed him.
Are you satisfied with Mr. Gusto's story now, Mr. Edgeworth?
Why does Gregory's suit look better in black and white? He looks like a detective. Well, I don't know, but that does look. It's got a nice noir to it. Sadly, I'm afraid I'm still rather unsatisfied. But things are finally starting to become clear, and the truth will soon come to light at last.
Do you mean to say that you have uncovered new evidence?
Evidence? No. I was hoping I might convince Mr. Gusto to open up to us about it instead.
Oh, is it mind games time again?
It is. Mr. Gusto, I have a question for you. Uh-oh, could it be time for mind tests? I said, I have a question for you.
Ah, what is it?
Am I right or wrong? Well, you're probably right, Zion. You chose to make your entry for the final on your own.
I told you, I wanted to test myself. I wanted to prove that I was the best in the world.
Objection! If that were the case, then surely you wouldn't have chosen to cheat in the first place. So tell me, Mr. Gusto, why did you feel the need to team up with Mr. Frost? Yep, there it is, people. It is time once again for Mind Chess. 18 years ago, Mr. Gusto and Mr. Frost collaborated in the confectionery contest. But why did they work together, and why did they enter the contest in the first place? That's the information I need to get out of my opponent somehow.
Oh, he's well fortified.
Mr. Gusto seems to have a habit of pretending to be asleep when things aren't going his way. Let's start by focusing on why he chose to work with Mr. Frost. By my hand, now is the time to dig up the truth that was buried all those years ago. Players ready? Let's whoop ass. Mind Chess, commence!
Why did you collaborate with Mr. Frost?
Mr. Gusto, what inspired you to collaborate with Mr. Frost?
We were acquaintances before we were contestants. He was interested in entering the contest, so we decided to sign up together.
And your decision to pair up with a sculptor had nothing to do with your lack of faith in your skills?
You don't know me. We joined forces because I wanted to make the most perfect creations possible. That's all.
Bide my time.
Well, what does story mode say? Bide my time, because he's angry. Frost's son and mine were in the same grade at school, so we got along pretty well too.
Oh, so you were just two friends who happened to try for the title of world's greatest confectioner? I think it's perfect, asswipe.
Yeah, now he's sleeping.
Wake up! Pretending to be asleep when the going gets tough won't work on me, I'm afraid. Mr. Frost was a sculptor, Mr. Gusto. I doubt he cared much about winning a title for confectioners. In which case, he probably had a different motive for taking part in the contest, wouldn't you say?
Fine. It was me. I wanted that title. Frost was only in it for the prize, the ultimate cookbook.
Yeah, I read it correctly, so yeah. You're good, Zion. I see. And since your objectives dovetailed so neatly, you decided to work together. But then, something happened. A breakdown in your relationship. A breakdown in your relationship, perhaps? If so, I want to know why.
And hang on one second. Can I... Ah, crap. I can't look at the evidence, but remember that picture of the kids? They were looking away from each other? How much you want to bet Frost's kid was really sick and he wanted the cookbook to help save his son? How much you want to bet? These animes have a way of having that happen. So, anyway.
Hey, we got 3 additional Twitch viewers other than both of us.
Okay.
So it's 5 in total. So yeah, we got pretty much of an audience.
Happy to do it. I'm hoping maybe we got raided, but we would have been told anyway.
I beg your acid pardon. That's sad.
We don't know yet. Mr. Prosecutor, I'm still quite unwell after my brush with death. Push me too hard, and I'll be on my way back to the medical room.
No, wait.
Then you'd better wrap this up quickly. I'm already dangerously low on patience.
Mr. Gusto is trying desperately to make his escape, but he's not going anywhere yet. Not as long as he's still keeping things from me. So let's figure out what he was really after next. Refill. There's no time to lose. I need to pick the right line of questioning and fast.
Okay, did you want more than just the title, obviously?
You too had your eyes on something other than the title, didn't you? After all, I'm not sure the title of World's Greatest Confectioner even counts for that much.
Now you're insulting the way of the confectioner? My goal, my only goal, was to win that title. I didn't care about anything else. You have no idea how much it would have meant to me.
Bide my time.
Yeah. Look, my sense of design may not have been up to snuff back then, but you should see me now.
Oh, so you've improved.
I'm dangerously low on the ability to resist the urge to skin and debone you like a fish, Gusto. Well, he does kind of have fishy arms. You bet I have. I didn't do all that training in Zhengfa for nothing. Uh-oh. Well, how long did he spend in Zhengfa?
Did he even escape there?
I'll tell you what, buddy. That was a blunder. Bide my time. Yep, I figured. If he looks angry, you strike when he's sleeping. I looked up to Tangaroa, you know. Spent hours poring over the designs of his work. Even used to watch his show with my son.
Sounds to me like Mr. Tangaroa's work was especially influential in your early studies. And with his recipe book, you might have even become the best someday.
Maybe. The book was a real treasure, no doubt about that. Any confectioner would have wanted it. Here we go. Now he's turning to sleep, so time to hit him with it. So you were interested in the book too?
You claim that your only goal was to win the title, yet you also seem to have had an interest in the contest's prize, the ultimate cookbook.
Poof! The greatest collection of recipes by the world's greatest confectioner? I can't say I had absolutely no interest in it. And even if I did, what exactly is so wrong with that?
Nothing, I suppose.
Not yet.
Oh, my sweet Semper Fi, raise your hand if you think Gusto's a lying barracuda. I think so, but gotta prove it. Only that the book contained recipes for medicines, not desserts. And everyone who entered the contest supposedly knew that. I feel like I'm finally getting somewhere. I can't let him slip from my grasp now. I just need to stay calm and keep the pressure on. Refill! Next, let's find out why he wanted the cookbook.
Okay, did you know what the book was really worth? That's my... No? You needed to help you make your sweets.
So your plan was to win the cookbook and use it to help you with your own creations?
What else? A book like that could have improved my craft tenfold.
You could have made a lot of money if you'd sold it.
I don't know much about what was actually in there. That's a lie. But it was worth more than money, I'll tell you that. So now he's sleeping. You know more than you're letting on.
Come now, Mr. Gusto. I think you know more about the Ultimate Cookbook than you claim. Got him.
They told us a little bit about it at the start of the contest.
Then you know what kind of recipes it actually contained, don't you? And that they weren't dessert recipes at all.
I see you did your homework. Fine. So you know what was really in there. The Ultimate Cookbook, or the Angel's Cookbook to give it its proper title. It's a collection of chemical formulas and ways to synthesize new medicines nobody had ever heard of.
We did know that the cookbook actually contained recipes for the medicines. This could be an important clue.
Gusto, you could have just let Frosty make Pepto-Bismol for his son, but no, you had to go murder. Well, let's get there. Hang on. So did you help the book? Did you know what the book was really worth?
Did you know how valuable the cookbook really was?
What kind of question is that? It was a collection of Tangaroa's recipes. There wasn't a confectioner. There wasn't a confectioner in the world who wouldn't have wanted to get their hands on it.
Time to deploy my clue.
Except you knew that's not what was really in there.
Your designs may have improved thanks to your training in Zhengfa, but you clearly didn't go do enough work on your skills of deception. You've already admitted that you knew the Ultimate Cookbook was a collection of recipes for medicines. thereby making your interest not gastronomical, but pharmaceutical in nature. Liar, liar, pants for hire. Nose is longer than a telephone wire.
You needed medicine, didn't you?
You're a confectioner, Mr. Gusto. You had no professional interest in revolutionary new medicines, which suggests that your interest must have been personal.
Oh, I underestimated you. Fine, you're right. Winning the title wasn't the only reason I entered the contest. I needed one of the recipes in that book. It was for my son. He was sick. I knew it was somebody's sick kid. Apparently it was his. Oh boy.
He was? Tell me more.
That's none of your business. I've told you as much as you need to know.
He looks rattled, but I can't let him off the hook. Let's find out what this mystery illness was. Refill.
Refill.
I've almost gotten to the bottom of this. I can feel it. Just a few more moves.
What was the name of your son's condition? Tell me more about your son. I would say tell me more about your son. Yeah.
Tell me a little more about your son.
No, he was my pride and joy, and my biggest fan.
And you entered the contest in order to help him?
You clearly don't have children of your own. Any father would have done the same. I would have done anything to help him. Anything. Bide my time, because he's pissed off. He would come see me here at the contest venue, too, right up through the semifinal.
Really? He didn't get in the way of your work? If you were trying to beat Samson Tangaroa, surely you didn't have the time to look after a child.
Yeah, well, I wanted to do what I could for him. He said he wanted to always be the first to try my creations. So he wasn't too sick to join you?
Yeah. I don't know, he's rattled. Yeah. You said your son was sick, Mr. Gusto.
Uh-oh.
And yet, he was able to come and join you for the contest. Uh-oh.
It wasn't that kind of illness. Nothing life-threatening, anyway.
This feels like it could be an important clue.
So it's either what's the name of your son's condition, or was the book necessary for him to get better?
Check. So you needed the cookbook to cure your son?
Yeah. Nowadays, you can get the medication he needed anywhere. But back then, that book was our only hope. Which is why I didn't dare waste my time on fancy tea parties. I had to give my all to my work.
What about Mr. Tangaroa's work? Surely that tea break gave you the perfect opportunity to go steal a glance at it.
Man, what makes you think I had the energy or time to care about what the others had made? But you cared about Mr. Tangaroa's work. Yeah.
I think you've made it abundantly clear how much interest you had in Mr. Tangaroa's work. What's more, if you were that determined to win the ultimate cookbook, I seriously doubt you would have passed up on a chance to take a peek at your competitor's entries.
I had plenty of chances throughout the contest to see and sample my rival's work, you know. But each time I did, nothing seemed to have any flavor. Must have been nerves or something. Well, that's bullshit.
Nothing Mr. Gusto tasted had any flavor?
Again, that's bullshit.
That seems like it could be an important clue.
Okay, so
what was the name of your son's conditions?
Oh my God, he has the same condition as Tangaroa.
Tell me the name of the disease your son suffered from.
You're a real cold customer, Mr. Prosecutor. Isn't it enough that he was seriously ill? Why would you force me to tell you more?
Time to deploy my clue. That show bit. Yeah, but
it wasn't life-threatening, was it?
You've already shared with me that your son's illness wasn't life-threatening. So why are you so reluctant to share any further details?
It may not have been life-threatening, but that doesn't mean it hadn't been life-altering.
I see. That must have been very hard on both of you.
Of course it was. That's why I did everything I could to find a cure. We were desperate. He couldn't taste anything, not even his favorite desserts. Oh. Samson Tangaroa and his kid have the same illness. Wow. And now he's pretending to sleep. Okay, did he have a taste disorder? That was it right there.
Yeah. As I understand it, the Ultimate Cookbook contains the recipe for a very particular medication. One that Mr. Tangaroa used to cure himself of his own taste disorder.
Huh? So he had it too?
Two, you say?
Oh, he didn't know. Oh, shit.
Oh, boy. So your son has a taste disorder then? Am I correct?
How did I let that slip?
You've been asking me to believe that you needed to win the cookbook in order to cure your son. But was that really the case?
Of course it was. What are you saying?
I'm saying that I'm not so sure that's true based on everything you've told me. Time to deploy my clue.
You were sick yourself, weren't you?
Taste disorders are difficult to live with. It isn't easy not being able to enjoy your food.
He said nothing had any flavor. Well, no, so he was the one that needed the medicine.
You should know. After all, you just told me you'd experienced something like that during the contest. I feel like that's checkmate. Almost there, though. You said that nothing was simple had any flavor. Those were your words, correct? Which would seem to suggest that you were suffering from a taste disorder.
Oh.
A confectioner without a sense of taste? Not exactly ideal. Are you sure it wasn't actually your own condition you were seeking a cure for, Mr. Gusto?
I've had enough of your speculations. I managed just fine in that contest. Made all my own entries. No problems. Oh, bullshit. Weren't you working with Mr. Frost? We're back again to the original point.
Sorry, but I'm afraid you're contradicting your own testimony. You already admitted that you and Mr. Frost had worked together during the contest. It's too late to claim you did it all on your own now.
No!
You would have us believe that you are a man of principle, a dedicated student of the confectioner's art. Yet you abandoned those principles and conspired with Mr. Frost to rig the contest. Also, you could cure your own taste disorder.
You got me, Mr. Prosecutor. As you said, my sense of taste was shot. My son's was fine. I'd kept it hidden for so long, 18 years, and nobody knew.
Sadly, you can lie to others, but you can't lie to me.
So that's why he brought his son to the contest all the way up to the semifinal, so he could taste them and tell them what they thought. Oh my God.
Both Mr. Gusto and Mr. Frost entered the contest hoping to obtain the Ultimate Cookbook for the medicine that would cure Mr. Gusto's disorder and the money it would bring in for Mr. Frost. Thus, an uneasy alliance was forged. And that, I believe, is checkmate. There you go. There's the word. My chess, checkmate.
I'll admit it. You're good. I never told anybody any of this, but you figured it all out anyway. It's true. 18 years ago, I developed agousia. What the fuck? That's not even a real word.
What's agousia?
It's a taste disorder that makes it so you can't taste anything at all. A confectioner's worst nightmare.
I was right. Halfway. Mr. Fender, is this what Mr. Tangaroa had as well?
No, The big man had what they call dissociated taste disorder. Basically, some things he could taste just fine, while others had no flavor at all.
So he suffered too. Can't have been easy. Not when there wasn't a way to cure it on the market.
Which is why you needed Mr. Tangaroa's cookbook. Do you admit now that that was the real reason you entered the contest?
It was only one of the reasons. I wasn't lying when I said I wanted the title. When I put my mind to something, it gets done, and I won't lose to anybody.
Those words might bite you in the ass, sir.
I may not have been able to taste it then, but I still know my stuff was good enough to win.
Yeah. Oh? So you went into the final thinking you stood a good chance of winning?
Of course.
What was it that Fender said about what Mr. Tangaroa thought of Mr. Gusto's creations?
Mr. Gusto's creations were a perfect balance of flavor and design, at least up through the semifinal. But disappointingly, his entry for the final was subpar on both counts. Uh-oh.
We were told that your entry for the final was far from the prize-winning taste sensation you describe. I was right on wanting the prize to himself. What happened, Mr. Gusto? What went wrong that day?
Fine. You want me to talk? I'll talk. But you're not gonna like what I have to say.
Sure, whatever.
Get ready for an epic battle. My entry for the final.
Frost and I were working together right up through the semifinal. I handled the flavor, he did the designing. But I wanted to face Tangaroa in the final on my own. No help, just me and my skills. So I helped Frost with his entry, but mine I did alone. If it didn't taste good in the final, that's on me. What can I say? I lacked training. Bullshit.
So hang on. Let me see. There's a couple of statements here. Okay, results of the analysis. Sugar found in the water seems to be a match. Salt, sugar, blood. What other stuff are we looking at here? Winterwing photo, the finger frame, no accompanying prints. Now look at this. Here's the photo I'm talking about. See, yeah. So that already Frost is looking away from Gusto. They seem to be reluctantly together. So what the hell is that all about, anyway?
Yep, Alex said it himself too. Oh shit!
And that's all there is to it. Happy now?
There don't seem to be any obvious contradictions in his testimony.
Well, we know what we got to. Well, we know what we got to do now. We got to grill him like a hamburger. Yep. Not that I thought it'd be easy to get anything real out of him. He's managed to not let slip what really happened for 18 years after all. Why don't you try pushing him a bit, Miles Reno? See if you can't shake something loose.
I think I just might have to, Fender.
All right, let's just grill him like a hamburger.
My entry for the final.
Frost and I were working together right up to the semifinal. I handled the flavor, he did the designing.
Hold it. Frost was in charge of designing the work you both submitted, while you handled the taste?
Yeah, he was a sculptor, a craftsman, and his sense of design was second to none. But he was clueless about confectionery, which is where I came in. We each did what the other could not.
Grill him, ask, and you shall receive. I'll get my insult brain ready.
Boy, did you not have an eye for aesthetics, not even for the simple stuff.
How do you like me now?
Huh. It's the national symbol of Zhengfa.
Oh yeah, it's a phoenix. That's awesome.
I'll say, pretty different to the stuff you were pumping out 18 years ago, especially if that picture's still there. Hang on, where is it? Oh, damn it! I wanted
What,
to see
the Suns picture?
Yeah, the picture of the semifinal. Where the hell is it? Anyway, that's the picture of the body. When it buys John's prized possessions. Okay, there's a photo of, from the past, remember? Anyway. Behold the fruits of my training. I've dedicated my whole life to my craft. But back then, we both needed each other's help, so we joined hands until the final. But I wanted to face Tangaroa in the final on my own. No help, just me and my skills.
Hold it! Hold it. You were serious about winning the title then?
Of course, the art of confectionery is my life. Why wouldn't I have wanted to be crowned the greatest? But I still had a lot to learn back then, because it's no surprise my work wasn't up to scratch.
But the title wasn't the only thing you wanted. There was the cookbook, too. And you wanted the book even more than you wanted the title. Isn't that right, Mr. Gusto?
Overruled. Mr. Edgeworth, you are badgering a witness who is still suffering the effects of today's attack. I cannot allow this harassment to continue.
I understand, Your Honor, but...
Ignore him, Mr. Gusto. You need not answer that vile prosecutor's question. But please, do continue your testimony in your own time.
All right, let's just go to story mode. So I helped Frost with his entry, but mine I did alone. If it didn't taste good in the final, that's on me. I lacked training.
Hold it. And yet, I heard that your creations prior to the final were scored highly for their flavor. So what went wrong? Was there some kind of cooking accident on that day?
No, nothing like that. It was... I told you, I had a taste disorder. My sense of taste...
How about...
Go ahead.
Okay, how about, you know what? Let's see what insults the twins got this time. Yeah, what about us?
Well, we are reading scripts. I'll tell you what, dude. He's starting to stutter. My sense of taste failed me. It's as simple as that.
But Mr. Frost's entry was complimented on its flavor. Your sense of taste hadn't failed you then. Did something happen overnight? Well, at least it wasn't a paper cut.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't think he's going to spill any more beans, Mr. Edgeworth.
Then perhaps I should ask him about something else.
Either ask about
semifinal, Mr. Frost.
Yeah, about the semifinal, yeah.
Did something change between the semifinal and the final, Mr. Gusto?
Not really. The only difference between the semifinal and the final was that Frost wasn't helping me.
But Frost was helping you the day before the final, you idiot. Sorry, Mo, what does this say?
Well, we definitely were presenting it, because there's something going on. A photograph of the... Yeah. Objection.
Objection! I can think of one significant difference between the semifinal and the final, Mr. Gusto. Your son. This is him in the photograph, correct? You told me he was here with you up through the semifinal. What, the beans?
He was. What of it?
What, indeed. He was here with you until the semifinal, until he suddenly wasn't for the final. And just as suddenly, your work went from being lauded for its flavor to being lambasted for it.
What did he do with his kid? What did Frost do? What did Frost do with Gusto's kid?
Oh boy. I don't think that's a coincidence. Do you? He wasn't just spending quality time with his father. He was playing a much more pivotal role than that.
Oh, I just wanted him to see me hard at work, to show him I was trying my best for us. Who knows? Maybe it was him being here that helped me do so well in those early rounds. Yeah, that's the point. Just not the way you think.
Gusto is also I am bastard.
a lamb bastard.
Oh, right, a lamb bastard. Good one, Zion.
He talks good game, but nothing about this guy screams super dad to me.
Indeed. Thankfully, we will only have to give such an idea credence if his story were true. After all, how much could the encouragement of one small boy affect the taste of a grown man's work? Mr. Gusto prided himself on the flavor of his creations, but then he lost his sense of taste. He must have had a tough time maintaining his high standards after such a devastating loss. Unless... I'm sure your son was here to cheer you on, but that wasn't all he was here to do, was it?
You're a very suspicious man, Mr. Prosecutor, but why not try answering yourself for a change? What was an elementary school kid doing here other than to support his father
To taste your creations.
Yeah. Your son knew the taste of your work pretty well, I imagine, Mr. Gusto.
He was my biggest fan. Of course he knew it.
In which case, he would have been a good judge of whether something tasted on brand, so to speak. No?
What are you implying?
You've already told us that you were suffering from a taste disorder.
I'll admit it. You're good. I never told anybody any of this, but you figured it all out anyway. It's true. 18 years ago, I developed a gougea.
Ain't this about bitch? No one knew about your condition. Indeed, I doubt Mr. Frost would have wanted to continue collaborating with you had he found out. After all, it was your job to make sure his creations tasted good.
Uh-oh, that's the motive. Oh shit, my kid's not here. He's gonna find out my secret. I gotta off him. Really? That's the big motive in all of this?
Oh boy.
Man, talk about a fart in church. Anyway, we gotta prove it.
Therefore, your son wasn't just here to support you. He was helping you by taste testing your work.
Hurrah! Dang, now it all makes sense. Frost's stuff tasted good because it really was finished the day before when the kid was still here. Huh? What the hell? What's he laughing about now?
You have a vivid imagination, Mr. Prosecutor. But do you seriously think I'd trust a kid to tell me how to adjust the taste of my masterpieces? I have some pride, you know, even back then.
Did you now?
My designs may not have been much to write home about back then, but I always knew my work tasted better than anyone else's. You think I'd risk everything by putting my reputation in the hands of a child?
Yeah,
So
much
he
for
was
that.
cheating, and this sumbitch don't feel not any bit of guilt.
No.
This is just more speculation, that's all it is.
In that case, I ask to speak with your son this instant. Let's see how much of your story he can corroborate.
Sadly for you, my son is no longer my concern.
What?
What?
Oh, this took a hard left turn.
As soon as I got my sense of taste back, I went straight to Zhangfa to start my training.
Okay, when was that?
And cut off all ties with the kid for good.
Oh, what a dick.
What?
You abandon your own child?
And that ain't the half of it. No one knows where he is, even now. The cops have looked all over for him, but no dice.
I beg your ass and pardon, bitch. My thoughts exactly.
So, still think you can prove your asinine theory? I'd like to see you try. You think I care about anything besides confectionery? Think again. I got my sense of taste back. What do I need? What need do I have for a son?
Silence in the courtroom. While Mr. Gusto's words and actions may demonstrate a certain lack of humanity on his part, the goddess of justice cannot judge him for that. Therefore, Mr. Edgeworth, I believe it is time for you to admit defeat.
Yeah, give it up. 18 years is a long time for anything to surface now, proof or otherwise. Well,
I'm gonna catch a damn case.
All right, well, listen to this. he let slip that he went to Zheng Fa. Well, take a look at this. Statute of limitations for murder, 15 years from the date of the crime. Now, the statute is suspended should the suspect flee to a foreign country. And the statute is suspended from the time of any accomplice's indictment to the end of their trial. Yikes. You shouldn't have let that Zheng Fa crap slip.
Mr. Edgeworth, we have to do something! If we don't, the truth might be lost forever!
Oh my assing pissing God. Well, hang on, we gotta prove it.
Where are you, Detective Gumshoe?
Can't imagine whose blood it could possibly be, but I'll get it tested right away, sir.
Please do, Detective. That's the last piece of the puzzle. I'm sure of it. Once we know whose blood it is.
Hey, Miles, sorry to cut in on your mind palace time, but I was pondering something myself.
Oh my God, he probably killed his own son, too. I don't know about that.
He's not that big of a dickhead, I hope not. Our friend Gusto didn't come here just to check up on the body, did he?
You mean because he tried to open the case?
Exactamundo. Think we have anything that might explain why he tried to do that?
We might. If Detective Gumshoe can make it back in time with a certain piece of evidence. If I turn out to be right, I'm gonna crash the hell out.
That's quite enough idle chatter, Defense. Now, if you...
Mr. Edgeworth, sir! Sorry to keep you waiting.
Speak of the devil. I take it you have the test results, Detective?
Yes, sir. The lab just got back to me.
Detective, please, court is in session. Now then, am I right to assume that you are bringing us the evidence Mr. Edgeworth was just speaking of?
What? Hey, no fair. Why didn't anybody tell me about any of this?
It is indeed the evidence in question, Your Honor. It needed testing, so I asked him to carry it out.
What the? Why is everybody always helping you? I'm supposed to be the one in charge here.
Mr. Winter, I'm sorry I didn't involve you, but this is important. Can we at least hear what the detective has to say? Because you're irrelevant, Eustace.
Well, all right.
So, Detective Gumshoe, what did the test have to tell us?
You're not gonna believe this, but the owner of the blood we found in the liquid at the bottom of the Gemini case is Carmelo Gusto, the victim of the poison gas attack.
What are you talking about?
Thank you, Detective. You've been very helpful.
So what? Okay, so if it's Carmelo Gusto's blood, what the hell is it doing in there? Anyway.
Well, it looks like my suspicions were correct.
What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, what do you mean? Explain yourself. What is the significance of this blood to this case?
It's only the very thing the perpetrator of the IS-7 incident has been trying to hide all these years.
The
fact that your blood was found inside the Gemini case, Mr. Gusto, is as good as us finding your blood lying right next to Mr. Frost's body.
Overruled. Why would there be traces of your blood there, of all places, Mr. Gusto?
If you won't answer Her Honor, Mr. Gusto, then I will. There wasn't just blood in the liquid from the Gemini case. There were traces of salt and sugar, too.
There were?
And if you remember, one particular part of Mr. Frost's work was allegedly very salty indeed.
Oh, yeah. You're talking about what Delicia told us back then, right? What was it again?
Did they ever? I never tried ice so scrumptious in all my life.
Really?
Really? Really? Man, I wish I could have had a bite. Well, scrumptious, except for the salty bit, of course. That was unbearable.
The salty bit?
It's in the other photo you got there. This bit, the harpy thing.
Gemini's liar.
Yes, the liar. And only the liar tastes it as if it had been flavored with salt. There were no traces of salt anywhere else in Mr. Frost's entry. Can I get it? Oh, shit!
Oh, shit.
Very interesting. Then perhaps you can tell us, Mr. Edgeworth. Where did the salt on the liar come from?
It could have been the poison gas. Could have been the poison gas ingredients, or
No.
the salt lamp.
Aha! See what I'm getting at here?
This is the lamp from the IS-7 incident.
See what I'm talking about here? Salt, lamp. I was right the whole time, wasn't I? Anyways. Indeed. And I believe that the salt that gave us the liar, its flavor, came from just such a lamp. Mr. Von Karma had established that both salt lamps were in Mr. Tangaroa's room at the time of the crime. One of them was used to kill Mr. Frost, and it was stained with his blood. But no corresponding pool of blood was found in Mr. Tangaroa's room.
Right, because the culprit had chucked a piece of chocolate with that on it into the little stream.
Furthermore, aside from the liar, no traces of salt were found anywhere else in Mr. Frost's room either.
Hey, come to think of it, the lamps we found in Delicia's room were both broken. The lamps appear to be broken. Bulbs are smashed. Both of them.
Maybe they fell and broke on the floor?
We never did figure out how the one that wasn't used to kill Frost got busted, but are we thinking maybe it had Gusto's blood on it at some point?
Anyone whose blood was found on one of the lamps would have been a person of interest to the police. So the killer needed to hide the blood somehow, and in a way that wouldn't arouse suspicion.
And you are seriously suggesting that the liar was used to do just that?
My ass clenched into my throat in growing confusion. Okay, that's something that should show up in a book sometime in the future. Anyway.
I am. I suspect that the bloody salt was somehow applied to the liar so that it could be hidden inside the case. Because unlike the fountain water, the sculptures would have needed more time and care to test properly. And so he waited and waited for his chance to dispose of the liar undetected.
Then the reason he's here today is...
18 years ago, Mr. Frost's body and the evidence pointing to his killer were taken away together. This, of course, was not part of the perpetrator's plan, and thus a new dilemma arose. The possibility that the body, the incriminating evidence, or both would resurface one day.
So back he comes 18 years later, sneaking in bright and early to try and cover his tracks.
Well, Mr. Gusto, Are you finally ready to admit it?
I don't think so. I think we got one more piece of business.
That you are the one responsible for the IS-7 incident.
Mr. Gusto, it's all because of you that Samson...
Gusto. So I finally got caught, huh? All these years later? Nobody came close back then, not even the big shot prosecutor or the attorney. That's some impressive work, Mr. Prosecutor. I have to hand it to you.
You admit it then? That you murdered Artie Frost?
Sure I do. I did it. I killed him.
Oh, he's that new crazy... I think my ass just projectile vomited out of my nose in shock.
But he only had himself to blame.
What do you mean by that?
He agreed to help me. We were supposed to help each other so that one of us could win. And whoever won was supposed to let the other use the cookbook. But on the day of the final, the rat finally showed his true colors. Seriously, Frost? We had a deal.
Sorry, I'm not helping you in the final. Our little agreement is over, Gusto.
But I helped you. I spent all day yesterday making the ice sphere pieces.
Did you? And can you prove that, I suppose?
What do you... Wait, you were planning to betray me right from the start, weren't you? After
Oh,
Frost...
my pissin', everyone say it, God!
After Frost double-crossed me, I had to make my piece for the final by myself. And like you said, my son wasn't there, so I didn't have any help with the flavor either.
So much for the pride you claim to have in your ability to make delicious desserts.
Go ahead and judge. You have no idea what it was like for someone like me to lose my sense of taste. I gave up everything to become the best. Everything! I take pride in that. Something someone like you could never understand.
You're right. I don't understand. Do you take pride in the fact that you resorted to murder? Or that you abandoned your son? Why would I want to understand someone who could do such things?
A man can't afford to rely on other people. I learned that the hard way 18 years ago. My son never showed up on the day of the final, and in hindsight, I wouldn't be surprised if Frost was the reason why.
Why would you think that? What exactly happened to your son?
How am I supposed to know? I told you, he's none of my concern anymore. And according to you guys, nobody knows where he is now either.
And you don't care? You're horrible!
Uncultured heathenic swine. I love that.
So with his disappearance, so too went your chances of winning, correct?
Yeah, I had to find another way of getting my hands on that book. That's when inspiration struck. I decided to skip afternoon tea and snuck into Tangaroa's room. It should have been so easy. All I had to do was photograph the formulas I needed and get out of there. But then Frost showed up.
I thought I might find you here. Stealing recipes from the famous cookbook, hmm? Tut.
Frost!
What's this? A cure for taste disorders? Oh no, that's just too tragic. A confectioner who can't taste anything? What will people say?
If you tell anybody, I'll...
You'll what? You can't even hit me, you miserable worm.
Why, you? Frost shoved me hard when I went to punch him, knocked me clean off my feet. I crashed into one of the lamps. Must have been when my blood got on it.
So Mr. Frost wasn't the first to get hurt.
When it was all over, I realized I had to get rid of that blood somehow, so I scraped off all the bloodied bits. I dissolved those salt shavings into flavored ice mixture and brushed it all over the harp.
My face feels smooth as hell right now. Also, screw you, Gusto, and screw you even more, Frost.
And that's how you made the evidence linking you to the murder vanish.
Frost was gonna blackmail me. He would have made me give him money to keep quiet about my condition.
So you decided you had to kill him?
Yeah, I guess I did. Why would I let him live? Would you want someone holding something like that over your head? Besides, he's the one who drew first blood. Makes for a solid case of self-defense, don't you think?
So that was the impetus behind it all.
Anyway, I initially took the lamp to Frost's room. Went straight there once I figured out how I was gonna hide the bloody part.
Inspired by all the ice sculpting tools lying about the place, I guess.
You're not as dumb as you pretend to be. Yeah, figured I could use them to chip it off and grind it up. Once that was done, painting the stuff all over the harp was easy.
But why, Samson? Why did you have to frame him?
Hold it.
Hold it! I never meant for the cops to pin it on him. That was your fault. You and the rest of them. Why do you think I went to the trouble of placing the lamps and cloths back in Scone's room?
There's only one reason to plant the murder weapon in the room of another contestant. And that's to cast suspicion on that person. What? You tried to frame me, Gusty Pants?
Yeah.
But why? Why part of me?
I respected Tangaroa. He was the best, a true champion. I would never have wanted him to take the fall. But you're a fraud. Your work wasn't even real. You had no respect for our craft at all. You deserve to be punished for what you did.
Scone, I never thought I would say this, but I'm sorry for suspecting you. Oh, Gusty, how could you?
And had you refrained from eating Tangaroa's work, Frost's body wouldn't have been found. My plan was to wait until Tangaroa was judging your room. That's when I'd sneak the corpse into Frost's room and freeze it. But thanks to you, Bound here found it before I had a chance to retrieve it.
I don't understand. Why did you need to freeze his body at all?
Why indeed?
Mr. Edgeworth, surely you must know. Why did Mr. Gusto need to freeze Mr. Frost's body?
To obscure, probably either to obscure the time of death or to hide the true crime scene. How do you obscure the time of death?
Mr. Gusto needed to freeze Mr. Frost's body in order to obscure the time of death. If they determined that the murder occurred during afternoon tea, he would have been an obvious suspect.
Bingo. Freezing Frost's body wasn't simple. Preparing everything took time. So I decided to put his body in the chest in Tangaroa's room while I got everything ready in Frost's. At the time, it seemed like the perfect hiding place. Never counted on some gluttonous pharmacist showing up and making the whole ship collapse.
I still don't get it though. Why disguise the body as an ice sculpture at all?
The sooner it was found, the smaller the effect of freezing it would have had on masking the time of death. Therefore, he needed to disguise it, at least until it fully frozen. I was right, that body was frozen! Yeah, we figured it out ourselves, too.
How awful. Using Mr. Frost's own work to help you cover up the truth behind his murder.
Ironically, Tangaroa would have been just fine if the body hadn't been found before I got it out of his room. If only things had gone to plan, he wouldn't even have been arrested, let alone convicted.
You mean it was my fault? Everything that happened to Samson?
No, Judy. It was Carmelo Gusto is the one to blame for all of this shit going down. All of it.
That music, though, man.
Yep.
It was all because I found the body?
Don't let him get inside your head, Judes. None of this is your fault. If it wasn't Samson, it would have been Delicia instead. She would have been the one they arrested. Either way.
Bound, just no. No, Bound, just no. Man, I just want to hug her ass, man. Me too, actually.
Either way, there's only one person to blame here, and that's Gusto.
It didn't help that the initial detective was so bad at his job either. He never even told the prosecutor that the body had vanished.
So then, Mr. Von Karma had unwittingly placed Mr. Tangaroa under arrest in the absence of a body?
I mean, I guess it would explain why he was so keen to wrap things up. Still, you'd think he'd notice something as big as that if he'd taken a look at a few reports, right?
Not as someone had been deliberately distorting the facts of the case, though. Either way, it seems that Mr. Von Karma didn't know about the body until after the arrest had been made. But admitting that would have spoiled his perfect record. So he kept it to himself and proceeded to prosecute Mr. Tangaroa regardless.
Can this really be true? You don't feel bad at all? Somebody spent 18 years in prison because of you!
Sticks and stones, girlie. Sticks and stones.
What a jerk! I ought to arrest you right now, pal!
I'm afraid I can't allow you to do that, Detective.
Just about time to pull that last spring. Hang on a second.
So you noticed, huh? Glad somebody did. The judge is right. You can't lay a finger on me.
What? Why? You just confessed to murder!
No idea, huh? Then I guess I'd better lay it out for you.
I know exactly what to do here. Why you can't arrest me.
I killed Frost 18 years ago. The statute of limitations for murder in this country is 15 years. You do the math. You can't arrest me. You'd think I'd have confessed otherwise.
I know exactly which one.
That's right! The statute of limitations is only 15 years! Is this really the end of the line, Mr. Edgeworth?
No, it's not. Once the statute has expired, he can't be charged. So,
But... How unfortunate, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm afraid that both Mr. Gusto's confession and your deductions will have to be struck from the record.
I will shove a stick up your ass and stone you with, well, a stone. Bad joke with the stone thing, I know.
it is what it is.
And that Mr. Tangaroa's conviction will remain in place.
But, we finally proven that the police never had Mr. Frost's body in their possession. Even if we can't arrest Mr. Gusto, surely Mr. Tangaroa has grounds for a retrial on that basis?
Does he? I wouldn't be so sure. I'm afraid that the goddess's judgments are somewhat harder to overturn than you might imagine.
So the committee means for the verdict from 18 years ago to stand no matter what?
Bad luck, Mr. Prosecutor.
There must be something we can do. Something to bring Mr. Gusto down.
Yep, I know exactly.
Oh, yes,
which one
there
to go.
is.
I know exactly which statement. I don't even have to. Killed Frost 18 years ago. Statute of limitations for murder in this country is 15 years. And okay,
Objection!
not yet.
There's a contradiction in your testimony, Mr. Gusto.
Oh, you do like to spout some real nonsense, do you? You're no match for your father, not by a long shot.
How dare you!
Too close to home? My bad.
Anyway, okay.
Oh shit, off of that damn goddess of justice BS, that's all a fluke. Wait, hold it. Depending on your actions over the last 18 years, the statute may not have expired yet.
This ought to be good. All right, I got nothing to hide. If there's something you want to ask it.
Very well. Tell us where you've been and what you've been doing since the incident.
Sure. Not long after the contest, I was able to cure my taste disorder thanks to the formula from that book. And not so long after that, I went to Shangfa to really buckle down and hone my craft.
That explains a lot. Tried to contact you after the fact, but I guess you were long gone by then, huh?
Could be. I left, let's see, around a year after the murder. It was before Tangaroa's last day in court.
All right, so how long was he gone for?
14 years?
Going to Shangfa was the best thing I ever did. Flavor, design, I'm the full package now.
Objection! And all on the backs of those whose lives you've destroyed.
What's an omelet without a few eggs? Nothing, Mr. Prosecutor, nothing.
You're evil!
Sticks and stones, girlie. You can't arrest me, and that's all that matters.
I need more to work with. There has to be something I can get out of him. Maybe I can push him further on the statements he just made. Is there anything I should follow up on? His training in Jingfa.
Either that or his final day in court. Yep.
I'd like you to tell us more about your training in Jingfa, if you wouldn't mind.
Fine. I later went to Shangfa to train, and I finally became the best in the world.
Press him on it. How long did it last?
Jingfa, and you were there for a while, I imagine.
Yeah, I left some time after the investigation had wrapped up. I've been meaning to go there and start my studies for a while, and thanks to the hard work I put in... my designs are now world class.
Wow, that's amazing.
You like it? It's yours.
Really? All right.
So he spent some time in Jingfa training.
All right, hang on. I wonder if this is where we present it. Yep, here we go.
I think it is.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Objection! The statute of limitations for murder is subject to the following condition. The statute is suspended should the suspect flee to a foreign country, which means that the time you spend abroad doesn't count toward the total time under the statute.
No way! So it's like someone hit pause while he was in Shangfa? It appears that there may be time left on the clock yet. But that will depend on how long you stayed in Jingfa, Mr. Gusto.
It was 3 years exactly.
Uh-oh. And if he left a year after the murder... Oh, boy. Hang on. 3 years? Hold on. Nobody say anything until I've done the math. The murder happened 18 years back. The statute is 15 years. Add the 3 overseas.
15 plus 3 makes exactly 18, which means no way! Mr. Edgeworth, you did it! The statute hasn't expired after all!
Bingo! 18 years exactly. Glad you worked it out for yourselves.
Grr. He's just been stringing us along this whole time.
Why is he laughing? We're good, aren't we? We're good, aren't we? We can arrest him now.
Hate to break it to you, little sis, but IS-7 went down at the end of December. It's April now, which means, strictly speaking, it's been 18 years and 4 months since Frost's murder. Gusto's stay in Zhangfa really lasted 3 years on the nose. It's not enough. We're a few months short. Oh, God damn it!
No.
That was a gut punch I wasn't expecting, but we're not done yet. We got to keep clawing.
Not enough? But...
Hold on a second. Let's look at this. The statute is suspended from the time of any accomplice's indictment to the end of their trial. How long did Mr. Tangaroa's trial last?
Zion, not yet, because I think we may have figured something out.
Yeah, hold on. How long did Mr. Tangaroa's trial last?
A year?
Indeed. December to December.
Gotcha, bitch!
Oh, what did I tell you? You can't touch me.
I hate to admit it, but he read the board well when he made his confession.
How unfortunate, Mr. Edgeworth. If only the statute had been suspended for another year.
Oh, Christmas stick.
Those who would overturn the goddess's judgment must be willing to pay the price should they fail. And you, Mr. Edgeworth, have failed.
No! There must be something I can do.
I knew it. Well, if the law can't bring Mr. Gusto to justice, then...
Judes, what are you thinking? Don't do it. Don't do it. Objection. There's no need to go adding to your rap sheet just yet. We're not done here. Far from it. Because there's still a way we can nail him.
There is?
Get down and boogie.
All right, Mauserino, pep talk. I need you to think back over everything we know about the case. Gusto's overlooked one critical thing that you yourself were led to believe wrongly about.
Which is?
He wasn't there for Samson's last trial, remember? Best I can tell, he doesn't seem to know what the final verdict that came down that day is. Which means there's still one way left to us. Crack open your statutes for dummies there and take another look. 17 years ago, they really did a number on Samson and framed him like a pretty picture. But if we make good use of that verdict now, we can make Gusto pay in full for what he's done.
Fender, are you?
Boy, it looks like you got a trick down your pants. Let's hear it. Yep. Those who would overturn the goddess's judgment must be willing to pay the price should they fail. Samson's my client, Miles, and I can't bring myself to use the source of his pain as a weapon in this fight. So whether we play our last card or not, it's gonna have to be up to you.
Bringing Mr. Gusto to justice can only happen if I use the outcome of that hard-fought trial. So, should I raise an objection and play that card or not?
Play it!
Do it! My father and Mr. Von Karma, one sought to reveal the truth, the other to hide it.
I know which path I choose to follow, the one that seeks to reveal the truth.
This court has reached its final verdict. The record will state that Mr. Gusto has been found not guilty on all counts.
Objection! No, Your Honor. Mr. Carmelo Gusto is absolutely guilty. And I refuse to let him walk away. His crimes are too unspeakable to go unpunished.
Do you mean to suggest that you have grounds upon which to call for his arrest?
I do. Now, to show Judge Cavell something that proves the statute of limitations hasn't yet expired. The statute of limitations itself, right? Oh, expired 3 years ago. Wait.
Verdict: convicted as an accomplice based on his confession.
There it is. Do it.
Take that!
Yeah, I was right.
Very well. Is there a particular page of the IS-7 case file you would like us to refer to?
I'll just choose it
It's
myself.
got
Suspect data.
suspect data. Yep. I'd like to direct your attention to the page concerning the suspect. As you can see, Samson Tangaroa was convicted as an accomplice. And it took around 1 year from his indictment for that verdict to be reached. That's Gregory without the coda. Huh. Oh yeah, that picture,
Yeah, that
Yes.
flashback, yep.
Yes, that does seem to be the case.
the book you gave us details certain conditions pertaining to the statute of limitations for murder. One of them, as I mentioned, is that the statute is suspended if the suspect flees the country. And another states that the statute is suspended from the time of any accomplice's indictment to the end of their trial.
Oh, what? Tangaroa was convicted as an accomplice?
Yep, guess you were in Zhangfa when the verdict came down. Samson was convicted as an accomplice, not as the main perpetrator, which is clearly news to you, and not good news either, am I right?
But how can that be? The Tangaroa wasn't an accomplice to anyone. He was innocent, and you know it.
Oh, we know it. It's what we've been trying to prove all along. And in a pleasing twist of fate, his wrongful conviction will be the very thing that sets him free. If you spent 3 years in Zhangfa, and your accomplice Samson Tangaroa was on trial for 1 year, it means you can still be charged with Mr. Frost's murder up to 19 years after the fact. In other words, the statute of limitations hasn't expired at all.
No!
The goddess's judgment is infallible. But that of her servant, it appears, is not. It seems the prosecutor in charge of this case may have erred. Unbelievably, we may have no choice but to instigate a full inquiry.
No! How could this? You weren't supposed to be able to.
Objection. Objection. 18 years. That's a long time to let somebody else suffer for your crimes. It's time to pay the piper, Gusto, and not a moment too soon.
Hurrah! But I'm finally the greatest. My brilliance has been recognized. I gave up everything for this. Everything, even my son.
More's the pity. But you can't run from the law forever because the bills come due at last. He's gonna lose it, folks. Carmelo Gusto, you're under arrest.
Mr. Gusto's all set up for his trip downtown, sir.
Oh, good. which means it's your turn next, right?
I suppose so.
Oh, damn it. Jude.
Peter Blossom.
I'm so sorry, everybody. I've caused you all so much trouble. But thank you. Thank you so much for bringing Mr. Gusto to justice at last.
Oh, hold on. Peter packed a pistol, pickled pepper. Screw Peter. How about that? I'm afraid there's no escaping the consequences of your actions, Miss Bound. But those actions were born of the legal mistakes that were made all those years ago. We all know that. So allow me to apologize in return on behalf of the prosecution.
Oh no. I have no one to blame but myself for it all. Starting with those sculptures.
Hey, Judes. You think maybe you might want me to represent you? I'm not some nervous newbie anymore. And there's no way I'm letting you take the rap for everything.
I'd be honored. Thank you, Mr. Fender.
No problem. Here we go. Sorry, ma'am, but you gotta come with me now.
Of course.
Well, all right then. Judge Gavelle, why did you lie to us?
Lie? What are you talking about?
Oh, Betty bought a bed butter belt, and screw Betty too. Sorry. You implied that there was no case for a retrial, but as we've proven, that wasn't true. Surely anyone truly committed to seeing justice done would have called one as soon as the body was found.
I am under no obligation to answer such questions.
You clearly have no intention of doing so either.
Truly, you are proving to be quite a threat to the Committee for Prosecutorial Excellence. As such, you give me little choice but to report back on your continued transgressions. No doubt you will be called to appear before the committee in due course. Now, I must be on my way. What the heck? And after you caught the real killer and everything! Isn't that what prosecutors are supposed to do?
Regardless of how it may all play out, I will never regret what we accomplished here today.
Mr. Edgeworth!
Hey, Mr. Edgeworth,
Yes?
why did you stick your nose in this case anyway? You weren't even on the job.
My job is to bring the truth to light, Mr. Winter. Not only as a prosecutor, but as a person.
I don't get it.
I wouldn't expect you to understand. Not as long as you believe that closing a case makes you a winner.
That's going way over my head. I'm going home.
Dumbass.
What was that all about?
Eustace has still a lot to learn is all. Milesy. Yes? I just wanted to say Greggy Pegleg would have been proud of you today. Oh, look at me tearing up. That, and thanks for helping poor Sammy Poople. Of course. Hey, Edgy. Looks like you cleared everything up, huh? So, what happened exactly? I was kind of busy sketching. Wait, Where did Judy and Verity go?
Wow, you really weren't paying attention, were you?
Though I am loath to admit it, Larry's sketches did come through for us on more than one occasion. Not that I'm about to tell him that. Quit it with the glaring, will ya? Whatever I did, I'm sorry! Calm down, Larry. I wasn't glaring at you.
You totally were. You're just like your pop. He was a terrible liar, too.
He was?
Listen, I'm gonna head out. Need to fill Samson in on what went down today. You wanna come with?
Yes, of course.
Great, then I'm coming too.
Okay, here we go.
April
April 2nd, 4:56 p.m. Detention Center, Visitors Room.
So what's Mr. Tangaroa like? I can't wait to finally meet him.
Oh, he's a real sweetheart. You'll love him. Even while locked up, he can't help but make all sorts of cookies and cakes for everyone. That's why 3 p.m. cake extravaganza is a thing for prisoners and guards alike.
Really? That sounds awesome. You think there'll be any left for us? You think there'll be any left for us to try?
He's like Frank Sinatra had a baby with Bob Ross.
Oh.
Didn't we find a few slices of chocolate cake in the prison the other day?
That's what that was. What a callback to the second case. Jeez.
Aye. Whoa. Could they have been some of Mr. Tangaroa's baked goods?
Gummy, what are you doing here?
I heard you all were coming to see Mr. Tangaroa, so I volunteered to escort him. Hello, new friends. I'm Samson Tangaroa.
Prosecutor Miles Edgeworth, at your service.
And I'm Mr. Edgeworth's trusty sidekick, Kay Faraday.
It's very nice to meet you both. Miles here is Gregory's son. Is that so? Your father was very kind to me and fought so hard for my case. But in the end, I betrayed him. I made a false confession and...
Don't worry, Mr. Tangaroa. Mr. Fender has explained everything to me.
Sure did. And now we're here to tell you the truth about what happened 18 years ago. The truth? So he gets told. Judy did all that? For me? Crazy kid racked the brain for 18 years until she finally figured out how to set you free. What can I say? Turns out she really would do anything for you. Oh, Judy. I never did anything to deserve such devotion.
Come now, Mr. Tangaroa. I think we all know that's not true. The bond between the two of you has held strong for all these years, after all.
You think so?
I guess I better show him. Which piece of evidence is proof of the bond Mr. Tangaroa and Ms. Bound share? The chocolates.
Probably the chocolates.
Take that!
Those chocolates. Judy made them, didn't she?
Yes, she did.
They're super delicious and sweet.
Miss Bound continued making them just as you taught her, even after that fateful day. So that there would always be some waiting for you when you finally came home.
Judy. I bet they're beyond super sweet then, aren't they?
Very much so, I'm afraid. I only wish we could hand them to you.
Don't worry, sir. I'll make sure he gets them later.
Which would be a clear breach of prison policy. Not that I have the authority now to stop him anyway.
Thank you very much. You know, Detective, something about you reminds me of Detective Bad. Really, pal? Because I look up to him a lot. He's my role model. You don't say. It seems fate likes to bring people of all sorts together, huh? You hang in there, Samson. Just a little longer. I should be able to get you out soon. I'm sorry it's taken so long. Nobody should have to wait 18 years to get justice. Don't be silly, Eddie. I'm the one who should be saying sorry. Or rather, thank you. Truly. Samson. Well, I guess it's my turn to wait for Judy to come home. Now. I'd better make sure there's something delicious on the table for her when she finally walks through that door. Don't let me down, Eddie. Leave it to me, big guy.
The IS-7 incident. It's been 18 long years, but this case we'd inherited from my father is finally coming to a close. He's a good father. He sure is.
Yes, he is. Hey, Miles. Thanks for today. I'm sorry for forcing you to make the final call like that.
Not at all. I simply made the call that felt right to me.
Huh? What are you guys talking about?
You know how Samson was wrongfully convicted? We had to pretend that he wasn't in order to nail Gusto. But to use his false conviction against him, even to save him, as his lawyer, I just couldn't bring myself to do it.
Yeah, I can see that.
But now that Gusto's behind bars, I can finally start to get that wrongful conviction overturned.
Yes, and I am sure you will.
Yeah, Mr. Tangaroa is a good father and father figure. Yep.
Wait a minute. Does this mean that even if you were only doing what's right, if the false conviction had been overturned before today, Mr. Gusto would have gotten away scot-free?
Yep. It's what we folks in the trade like to call a legal contradiction. The law
Can't sing for jack shit, but good father.
The law is far from perfect.
Because of things like legal contradictions, right?
Yeah, but you never know. Things might change. The law is always evolving, just like us humans. Your Uncle Eddie and Miles Reno included, am I right?
The potential for growth and change in people in the law, huh?
So, Miles, you gonna keep fighting crime as a prosecutor, or help people as an attorney? Something tells me you got a big decision ahead of you. Only one only you can answer.
I know.
Well, let's just say I won't complain if you show up at the office one day. And on that note, it's time for me to skedaddle. I owe you big time, and I always repay my debts. But for now, thanks again for today. I mean it. See yous.
Did he seem kind of in a hurry to get out of here to you?
He did. I think Edgeworth will become a defense attorney. I feel in my potatoey gut. I don't know that. I don't know yet. And honestly speaking, I'm the one who owes him a debt of gratitude. After all, he gave me the chance to reckon with my father's final case. When I was a boy, all I ever dreamed of was becoming an attorney like my father. But then, during my time with Mr. Von Karma, I learned the way of the prosecutor instead. Eventually, with the help of some good friends, I found my own voice and a new way to live. But now my career as a prosecutor is at risk of being taken away from me. It may be time to take another long, hard look at how I want to live my life, whether I like it or not.
Indeed. April 2nd, Edgeworth and Company Law Offices. Huh?
Really?
Oh, this is back
Something
then.
wrong. Hey, Gregory.
Hey, Gregory.
Oh, yeah, I think
Sorry for reporting in so late. It may have taken 18 years, but we're finally in a position to prove Samson's innocence. All thanks to your boy Miles. Couldn't have done it without him. You should have seen him. The way he fought for the truth gave me chills. It was like I was watching you. Look, no, I'm not half the attorney you were, but those guiding principles you tried to instill in me, I like to think I'm embodying them now as I carry on your legacy. Here's hoping your boy will be joining me in that soon.
yeah.
I don't know about that.
So that photo, yeah, you weren't standing in front of the body after all during that photo. So,
Damn.
you missed something.
Hang on. I'm trying to find it. Crap. Anyway.
History button. Okay, well, the end. We'll read it out. Wait, is he wearing Greggy's hat? I just noticed that. That's the end of that case. See your progress?
Indeed.
Yes.
Okay. Turnabout Forsaken. Well, it's a perfect opportunity for us to skedaddle ourselves. So we have a brand new case next week, and it's episode 4 of 5 in Prosecutor's Gambit, Turnabout Forsaken. So I can't wait to see what that's all about. You know, intrigue and all that stuff. So until then, kids, I'm the Cannonball Alex Steele.
I am the Package Andrew Steele.
We are the Steele Brothers,
And we are for real. Top guys out.
Ciao.
Adios, muchacho.